Hey everybody, Vicki Fitch here, your direct sales expert. I am coming to you live from sunny Southern California. And as you guys know, if you have been around anywhere near this area, we are having a record heat wave. Welcome. I couldn't see who that is. Welcome to the broadcast, guys. Appreciate you being here. If you guys are new to the broadcast, please feel free to kick back and relax, but put your name in the chat so I can say hello. Hey, Short Dog, welcome. We are live streaming on 7 platforms. So again, hit the share button. I'd really appreciate it. We want to make sure that people hear this because there's been a lot of debate around and people are not understanding what the difference is. So we're going to try and help spell it out and help you understand what the concern is, the difference between absentee voting and mail-in ballots. Okay, so again, thanks for being here. For those of you who don't know me, I'll introduce myself. I'm an author, speaker, international business consultant. I've been in the direct sales industry for over 20 years, top 10 sales and recruiting internationally for more than a decade, and took that knowledge and information and tried and I'm trying to deliver it in that organized format so people can understand complex topics in simplified ways, because there's a lot of information that people get a little confused about. So we want to make sure we got that. So if you guys are my Facebook fans, my Perry peeps, we're live streaming on multiple platforms inside Facebook. We're also on Instagram. No, sorry, we're not on Instagram because I can't see my screen share. We are on Periscope and Twitter and YouTube as well. So again, drop your name in the chat box. If you guys are watching from a watch party, I cannot actually see your comments. So don't think that I am ignoring you. Hey, Fraser, welcome to the broadcast. Hey, Bitcoin, welcome. Appreciate you guys being here. Again, thanks for hitting the share button and thanks for participating. Okay, so put a 1 in the chat box if you've heard the stuff here in the US. I know some of you watching are not in the US, but heard the stuff in the US about mail-in ballots versus absentee ballots. There's a big debate going on the opportunity for fraud and why the president is against mail-in ballots versus absentee ballots. Okay, so that's why I want to help you guys understand. And Brianna, I'm really always confused by what you are writing there because I have absolutely no idea. Because I don't even think that's a language. I'm fairly certain those are just keys that you're hitting and then emojis. But if there's some decipherable language there, please help me. I'd be happy to answer your question. Thanks, Bitcoin. Bitcoin is aware of the difference between, or is aware of what's going on. And again, I can see a lot of you guys lurking out there. I totally get it if you don't want to participate. But again, if you drop your name in the chat box, I'll be able to say hello. And I'd love to get your comments and feedback on either side. So let's just talk about a little bit about what absentee ballots are versus mail-in voting, okay? Because it sounds like the same and people are getting it confused, which is why you'll see these debates and people are going, or on the street debates, not like not legitimate debates between politicians, but on the street debate is saying, well, what's that? Oh, he's against this. Why can't we go, why can't we just mail in our votes, right? You can. Because right now, what's been going on here, Fraser says mail voters, easy to get lost in the post, voting with your feet is best. Absolutely, Fraser. But we have some things going on here. Like, for instance, one thing in California, Governor Newsom has decided no one is allowed to vote in person. He is no one's allowed to vote in person at all. He's actually put that as an executive order. And so we're fighting that because we do believe that there's an opportunity for fraud. But the point is that there's no reason to insist that you have to mail in ballots. So we'll dissect the issue and then we'll explain the difference. Everyone has always had the opportunity. Now, I often do what's called absentee voting because I do travel a lot and I never know if I'm going to be there or not. Yeah, willingly ignorant, sometimes Bitcoin, but sometimes I think people just hear so many people saying this is stupid, it's the same thing, and so they just kind of get caught up in it since they don't know. They only know what they hear, and therefore that's why I bring this show to you guys to try and break it down so people can go, oh, okay, that makes sense. I get that there is a difference, and then make your own decision on what you think is right or wrong. Here in California, we all get that COVID has been, a big deal. There's been a lot of people that have died, a lot of people gotten sick. But there's also a lot of activities going on where you're allowed to go to a grocery store, you're allowed to do different things. So if we can go to a grocery store and stay 6 feet apart, like practice social distancing, why is it? And again, these are questions, and then I will, like I said, dissect the difference between the two and make it really clear. Why is it that we can't choose to vote in person if we want? Because we can certainly do six feet apart, and the legislation right now is coming up from the Democrats saying that they want all the mail-in votes, and because we can't be, we're putting ourselves in jeopardy, I think is what. Let me back that up. Hillary Clinton tweeted I applaud Governor Newsom for protecting the people of California by not requiring they endanger their lives to vote. Now, that's not an exact quote, but it's definitely along the lines of what she said. You can go look it up yourself, right? And so, if we want to go in person and vote and you're worried about us, let's take that money instead of spending billions of dollars and mailing all these ballots. How about we have a couple days of voting and we make sure that people have appointments, so we can make sure we have our 6 foot of social distancing or whatever you think, but give us the choice. Because it's, I personally don't believe it's about our health anymore when you can go out and riot and you can do protests without masks on in groups and mass groups of thousands, but then you're not allowed to, you're not allowed to have a home Bible study of 10 people because that's against the rules. It just, like I said, the logic doesn't make sense. So if I'm willing to go out and take the time, and there are volunteers that are willing to man the booths, and everybody's willing to do their job, it doesn't really make sense that he in California, and this is not every state, is refusing to let us actually go make our vote. He's insisting that everyone get mailed ballots. Okay, so now let me put into context what absentee ballots are versus mail-in voting. And again, do me a favor, if you have questions, pop it in there. There are no stupid questions. I know people feel stupid a lot of times because someone that knows the answer makes you feel stupid, but I promise I won't. And I may not have all the answers, but I can at least find them so we can have a constructive conversation, because I think that's what happens is people are feeling so they feel picked on and abused. As a matter of fact, I might talk about that later too, about some social groups and what happens and how people get bullied by a few kids that think they're like the king of the playground, and it's ridiculous. We really need to raise the bar. But back to absentee ballots. I've been an absentee voter absentee ballot voter for a while because, again, I travel a lot and I'm never sure if I'm going to be back or if something's going to come up last minute and then I won't be here. So I always have an absentee ballot. An absentee ballot means I have requested an absentee ballot. I plan on voting via mail. It's registered it's registered to me. It's listed out and there's an expectation that it's coming back. So it's being tracked. Does this make sense? Put a 2 in the chat box if that makes sense. I, the voter, said, I would like you to mail me a ballot. I would like it. I'm going to be looking for it and expecting it. I am going to fill it out and I'm going to send it back, and you are looking to receive it. Put a 2 in the chat box if that makes sense. Street by street voting, no mass crowds at a polling station, right? There's certainly some option there, right, Fraser? I mean, there's lots of options. There's lots of choices we can do. And by the way, thank you guys for the hearts over here on Periscope. I appreciate it. Thank you for the emojis over there on Facebook. I appreciate that as well. Bitcoin says too, you requested exactly. And that's the difference. That's the big, huge difference. I request it, so I'm looking for it. I expect it, and you're expecting it back. Okay, so it's a relationship. I know this voter is going to vote. They are expecting their ballot. They're going to fill it out and they're going to return it so we can register, that the activity is going on. Mass mail out ballots is everyone that's registered. You might have moved. You might have died. There are many people, and I don't know if you guys know this, but the registrants in California, the California voter registrations are 115% of the population by what article I read. I don't know if you guys can do math, but you can't have 115% of the population. That means if there was only 100,000 people in California that lived here, there are 115,000 people registered to vote here. So that means some of them have died, and that a lot of there's actually people they said that would be 107, I think, on that list. And we know that there I don't think there are any living people present that are 107 in the United States. I think there are a couple people in China or a couple places where they have very youthful things. It might have been in France. I'm trying to remember. There's some wellspring there, and they were saying that there's some healing properties or something. But the point is, we know that the mail out ballots are not accurate. That the list hasn't been what you call list hygiene. List hygiene means you get rid of the ones that, if people are no longer living here, that they don't get a ballot. If people have died, they don't get a ballot. That's why you need to request a ballot, and then they know that you're still here and this is what's going on. Bitcoin says everyone and his cat and dead aunt qualifies for mail-in vote. And again, in California, they're also identifying that illegal aliens are able to vote. There's a lot, like I said, I don't have personal proof. I don't know if that's happening or not, but I have heard it from people that I know. So, that know for a fact, like maybe their housekeeper is not registered, I mean, not legal here legally, and they voted, or, they share that information. I'm not super happy about it, but we know that it's happening, okay, because we know people that are choosing to participate in that. But we have to look at this. So a friend of ours that watches the show regularly, she said, "Yeah, I got a ballot for I got a ballot for me and my brother. My brother hasn't lived here in 7 years. I could easily just fill his ballot in and send it back in. I'm good. I got 2 votes now." And so, that there's a lot of potential for fraud there. Does it mean there can't be fraud any other way? No. But that's the big concern, is that if you send it out to everybody who's not requesting it, not even looking for it, maybe they don't even intend to vote, but you send the ballot out, and they've found ballot harvesting happening. They found a ton of ballots that were thrown into trash cans, like whether it was the post office that did it, or I don't know. I didn't get all the details of that, but the fact is that there is a distinction between the two that makes a difference. And when people don't understand it, it gets very confusing. But if you understand it, then you get to make your decision on whether you think it's right or wrong, and that's totally up to you. But the fact is, it's not the same. Absentee, and I even read some articles today. I read one, I think it was from CNN, and another one. They're saying they're basically the same. They're basically not even close to the same. I mean, they both come in the mail. Yeah, they both come in the mail. One is expected and looked for and registered, like that it's coming. I say registered, not that it comes by registered mail, but it's registered in the office that you requested the ballot. It's sent, and like I said, they're looking for it. And then there's, the 52 card pickup, where everybody that ever, registered, maybe they don't want to vote. So where are those ballots going, and why are we wasting the money on that? Now, it might be a different story. Like I said, I have to ponder that, but might be a different story if this pandemic was really one of those, something that nobody could leave their homes. Nobody could leave. It's impossible, whatever, that we have to do something different. But everybody has access to the information on how to get their votes. So anybody can request an absentee ballot. And there's been so much hubbub on, in the news, that they certainly have plenty of time to request it as well. But they're getting confused. They think, oh, well, they said they're going to send them to everybody. I don't need to get an absentee ballot. Or I'm, here, like I said, we're not allowed to vote in person. So they're going to mail me one, and they're not requesting it. So it's a completely different process. Bitcoin says everyone in his yes. Hey, Larry, welcome to the broadcast. So I wonder, do any of you guys have any questions? Like I said, I know some people, they don't want to feel stupid and ask questions that, other people might know the answer to. But again, I promise you, the reason I brought this up is because I get so many private messages saying, could you help me understand? I don't understand the difference. And why are people getting so mad about it? And is it really something to be mad about? Or is this being petty? Or is this a legit complaint? And so again, you have to make the determination on whether it's important or not. But it is legit. It's certainly a legit complaint, because those are two completely different processes. Hey, Hera, welcome. What topic? We're talking about mail-in versus absentee ballots and how they make a difference. So that is, like I said, I don't have a big, long, drawn out thing to tell you there. But while any of you are pondering, and if you hit the share button, like I said, I hope, what percentage of votes are currently mail-in? Bitcoin, that's a good question. I believe, I'm probably wrong, but I want to say I heard 8% are absentee ballot requests. Only 8% typically. So, but do not quote me on that. I will actually jot myself a note and find out the percentage of absentee ballots, because that's what you're asking. You wrote mail-in, but you mean absentee, right? What percentage of people typically vote absentee? Is that correct? Let me know. And so while we're talking about this, and I'm asking you to, put your questions. And again, if you're finding value here, I hope you'll hit the share button. I also hope you'll hit the follow button and the notification button, so you know when I'm going live. I typically go live every day at 11:30 a.m. To try and deliver value to you. On right now, we're doing the Step Up, Stand Out, and Speak show, which is #StopBeingSilent. A lot of people want to say something, whether it's on the left or the right, it doesn't matter. They want to talk, and they don't, because they're afraid of ridicule and rejection. Yes. Okay, Bitcoin, I'll find out. And they're afraid of ridicule and rejection. And we've got to stop that. So I want to give you an example of that has nothing to do with mail-in voting, but it does have to do with why people are afraid to post questions publicly. And maybe it might give you the courage to post a question publicly, or maybe it might just encourage you to continue messaging me privately for them. So yesterday, we are here looking for a restaurant. Elijah got his permit yesterday. And so it was the day before, and we were trying to celebrate. Now it was 112 the other day. It's not usually that hot here in California. I mean, I would say, highs in the summers is like 103, and that's like a bad day. Usually we're in the 90s, and we have pretty good weather, but it's been super duper hot. And the restaurants, we wanted to go out and celebrate, and restaurants have these outdoor seatings, and outdoor seating, even with a shade above you at 112 degrees, to me is miserable. Absolutely miserable. I hate it. It's like, I don't want to do it. I don't find that relaxing or whatever. When I go out to dinner or a meal, I want to celebrate and have fun and relax. And it's miserable for me. I hate it. Larry says we have networking people say they have moved out of state and they still get the mail-in ballot and they don't live in the state anymore. Exactly, Larry. And that's what we're talking about. When you absentee ballots, you ask for one, they verify the state you're in, you get it, they're expecting it back. It's not the same thing as mail-in. Hey, Brian, welcome to the broadcast. Hey, Mary. Mark, yes, thank you guys. Thanks for being here, you guys. I appreciate it. Again, thanks for hitting the share button. So, so I hate that. So I posted inside a local community thing here saying, anybody, hey, PM me if you know any Rebel restaurants that are open besides on the patio. Because, and whether you guys like that or not, or you want to, other states are open. I just got land-based in Las Vegas in a restaurant, but they're still open. And we were open 3 weeks ago or whatever it was. We went and had dinner at a restaurant. We did not spike up like that. I don't, like I said, I'm not even going to go into that right now because then this broadcast will be forever. But I asked, hey, PM me if you know any Rebel restaurants that are actually seating, indoors in the air conditioning. And so a couple people actually posted in the chat. I asked them to PM me, and some people PM me. And this guy doesn't know me. I've never met him. I don't know who he is. And remember, I'm in the Chamber of Commerce here. I'm a pretty active member of the community. I live stream every day. I mean, it's not like this would be anything anyone would think about it. He's like, he posts in the chat, she works for Newsom, and like I'm some narc trying to figure out what businesses are open. And I was like, oh, seriously? You're not actually saying that, right? And then another guy thinks this guy's being honest, and he posts a meme that says, like, not today, spy, or something. I don't know what it was, but right? It's like, it was ridiculous. Oh, secret agent. That's what it said. Not today, secret agent. And so I wrote a nice reply back and said, come on now, don't attack people's character. I mean, if you click on my profile, you'll see I'm personally not a Newsom fan, and this is all relevant because we're talking about whether or not you have the courage to ask your questions, right? And whether you have the courage to participate in conversations in social media without being fear of ridicule or being attacked or whatever, because it's ridiculous. And that's why we have this show, is because you can ask whatever question you want, and I'm not going to ridicule you. I may have a teeny bit of sarcasm once in a while if I know you're trolling me. Other than that, you will always be treated with dignity and respect, because that's what communication is about. So he posts that. I post, come on, guys, you don't actually think that. I mean, just taking 1 second to click on my profile and seeing the history of what I share every day and what shows I do every day would obviously identify I do not work for Governor Newsom and am not a personal fan of his. So now, and then other people, again, not doing research, assuming that Mr. Smarty Pants is accurate, are now my characters are coming in question. And now, like, just so we're clear, I don't really care. I mean, I have a reputation in the community for people that are actually in the community and doing things and aren't just social trolls. It really doesn't matter. But I do believe, I've always said that to whom much is given, right? The Bible says to whom much is given, much will be required. And so I use my skills to try and help people, learn and be a little bit better. So I posted in the group, hey, guys, it's really important that we as individuals, we don't make claims against people and damage their reputations just arbitrarily. We need to have, be factual. Don't do that. And I wasn't mean. I didn't name names. I just said, hey, we got to raise the bar. And you remember, Chino is the community that cares. Like, let's just come together. And so there's a troll in there. This poor girl probably has nothing better to do with her time. And the sad part is she's like an ignorant fool. I mean, and that's the truth, because she starts then telling people, oh, she made that up. It didn't happen. I saw the meme. She saw the meme, but she didn't look 2 steps up to see the person who wrote it, which is quoted and it's there. But I'm not going to copy and screenshot it, because I'm not going to call the person out. I'm not trying to make someone feel bad. I'm trying to shed light on a topic and help people think before they post, right? I mean, that's what it is. So again, as we're looking at this ballot, absentee versus mail-in, there's a lot of people spouting off stuff that they don't know what they're talking about. So they're saying, oh, it's the same thing. Don't believe them. Those idiots. It's just the same exact thing. It's not the same thing, right? And so get your facts straight before you start making claims. My husband and I were just talking about this morning. There's a difference between a definitive statement. When you make a definitive statement and say, she works for Newsom, that's a fact, right? That's something that you are stating, as a fact, not, hey, be careful, she might work for Newsom, right? Which that would be then, I would accept that. It's like, oh, I can understand why you might be concerned, because he's gone a little bit nutty and he might send someone to close that business down. But I didn't ask them to post in there. I asked them to PM me. That's what I asked for. I asked for, on the down low, because the businesses here are struggling. I don't know how they're doing in your hometown, but the businesses here, hey, Simon, are struggling, right? They're struggling. I have friends that are going out of business and I want to be able to support them, but I can't support them if I'm going to pass out on the blacktop, because that's the only place they're allowed to serve food, right? I mean, I want to support them. And when you go pick up food and bring it home, it's nasty. I mean, it's just, especially in that heat, especially if it's cold. I'm great, Simon. How are you? It's a known fact universally that no one knows how to handle trolls better than you. Thank you, Bitcoin. I appreciate that, because I try really hard. We do our troll patrol. And sometimes, hey, Melanie, welcome to the broadcast. And sometimes, like I said, the conversation's still going on. There's a few people defending me, right? And I don't expect the defense, but I did write at the end saying, those of you who know me and are reading this, I hope you'll say something, right? And just, giving them a little thing. Hey, paparazzi, welcome to the broadcast. You're homesick, Simon. I'm sorry to hear that. But, hey, Can, welcome to the broadcast. Again, thanks for hitting the share button, guys. So, I asked that. Those of you who know me, just say, hey, she doesn't work for Newsom. Not, you don't have to defend me. Like, I'm all good, right? It's okay. But she really doesn't work for Newsom. She's, she works for the Chamber of Commerce. She's trying to help businesses. Being honest. You're in Australia. Excellent, Simon. I'm glad to hear that. I'm sorry that you're sick, though. And so the point is that we have to make a choice. And so when you make statements because you heard regurgitated information on the news, or you read, like I said, I just read an article from CNN and said they're the same thing. And then they break down, they're not, basically, it's not the same thing at all. An absentee ballot, again, I'm recapping for those of you who have just gotten here. An absentee ballot is something that you requested. So here it is on your voter registration. Let's pretend let's just pretend it's the naughty and nice list, right? And here it is from Santa, and it's got your name, and it says requested ballot, check. And then there's another column waiting for it to come back, right? So the other stuff is, I don't know if you want it or not, but here it comes, and hopefully you can find it, and hopefully you get it back in, but we will not be tracking it because we have no idea, right? Because how are they supposed to track billions? How are they supposed to do that? It's mad, right? I mean, that's crazy town. That would be really, really hard to keep track of everyone's ballots. But again, absentee ballots, they send it. You ask, they send, they're expecting it back. Big, huge difference. So when you make, and again, so I'm tying those two stories together. When you make definitive statements like, she works for Newsom, or the ballots are the same, it's just a different word, but the ballots are the same. Absentee and mail-in are the same when they're not. But you're lying, even if you don't know it, right? And this is another debate I got into with someone who's supposed to be a friend, but he's a troll, which is a friendly troll that's bordering on troll. Because today I was like, dude, I really said I didn't say this out loud, but what I'm thinking is you should be ashamed of yourself, because he's always got to be contrary. He just has to be, even if he's wrong, which he's mostly wrong, because I don't, anyway, he's mostly wrong. But and I don't mean wrong because I'm right. I mean wrong because it doesn't make sense. Like he'll reply a comment on a thread that's got nothing to do with that thread. And you're like, huh? What? I don't even know what you're talking about. And so, when people make comments that they don't even know anything about, it's the same thing because they heard someone else say it. You're kind of defrauding the rest of the people in the thread because they're trying to figure out the truth, right? And that's again why we're doing this show. People are trying to figure out the truth and they don't know where to go. They don't know. And I'm not saying that I'm neutral, right? I have my opinion, but I'll give you the facts both sides. You can pick because I don't want you don't have to lean to my side. Just pick, but be informed. Make an informed decision. And that's all I'm here for. So if you have the facts and you choose left or you choose right or you choose up or you choose down, that's you. But when you don't have the facts, then I feel like it's my obligation or opportunity to try and deliver facts because I think people do trust me now is that I'm going to deliver it and I'll give you the best information I have and nobody will troll you here and I certainly won't troll you. So at least you have a voice and opinion. I get messages all the time saying, I feel free to reply on your threads because I know you'll protect me. How sad is that? That people are so afraid of being bullied. They have to know that the person that wrote the post will come to your defense if people start lambasting you or treating you poorly, right? Let's see. Sorry, I'm late between jobs trying to eat and watch. Melanie, I'm so glad you're here, sweetheart. It's so awesome to see you. Can one hypothetically fill in an absentee vote and then also go vote in person the next day? I believe no. Again, Bitcoin, because you in the computer, you would be assigned as an absentee ballot voter. You may bring your absentee ballot to, and don't quote me on this. I believe you may bring your absentee ballot to a polling station, and I think they have a place that you can drop them off. Or I think, and again, this is not factual, so no one tell me if I'm wrong. I will look it up myself. I think you are allowed to turn in your absentee ballot to vote in person. It's like an exchange. Yeah, I changed my mind. I want to do it right here. I want to do it myself. I don't want this to get lost. I think you can do that, but I'm going to write that down. Absentee / vote in person. And I'm going to try and get an answer for that. Don't take one person's word, get all the facts. Exactly, Melanie. And like I said, ask questions because when we ask questions, then it leads other people to go, oh, that's a good question. Or, oh, that makes sense. And that's what it's about. And that's why I was telling you, like I said, I brought in, for those of you just coming in, I brought in another example about being free to ask questions about what's happening without being trolled and without being afraid other people are going to troll. So this one troll girl, I was just telling you guys, I looked for a restaurant. Some guy made a definitive statement, says, I work for Newsom, so don't answer me because I'm going to have the restaurant shut down when I'm dying to find a restaurant that's open, and, so like I said, I was very nice and said, hey, that's not cool. Don't do that. Don't make false claims about me. Don't lie. And I actually said in there, sometimes, it becomes an unintentional lie because, maybe it was just an idea in his head. I don't think he thought I worked for Newsom and was trying to protect the world. I think he was making a sarcastic statement or something like that. So I don't think he was trying to lie. And this friend, posts, it was something really smart alecky, kind of like, ha ha ha, you try and defend other people and now you're kind of having to defend yourself kind of thing. Like, and instead of saying, yeah, she doesn't work for Newsom, he threw out that. And I said, gosh, how sad that you chose this particular time to bring up a new topic instead of just sticking with what was here and just saying she doesn't work for Newsom, guys. She's part of the community. She's trying to help businesses. I mean, like, there's a time when you can put your gloves down and just be part, just be part of the team, be part of the community. But you should always ask questions and you should never accept getting ridiculed by other people. Cause there's, like I said, the troll in there, she's got her own little spinny thing. She's lying. There's nothing there about it. It's like, and she screenshots another section and again, now she's calling my integrity into question. And so I just wrote to her, yeah, I 3 times. So the final one, I finally said, you have to scroll up. Like, I'm done with her, but I'm not going to, I could screenshot it and post it, but I'm not trying to out that person. I'm not trying to make that person feel uncomfortable about what they did. Cause the other person that did the meme, that was following suit with what that person says, when I replied to him and said, hey, that's really not cool. He's I'm so sorry. You know what? You're right. And I'm so supportive of what you're doing, because he actually hit the button now. He might even be watching this right now. He actually looked to see, oh my gosh, she doesn't work for Newsom. And I'm sure he felt kind of schmucky, but he didn't try to attack. He didn't just delete it and run away. He said, I'm sorry. And kudos to you, and keep going. Right. So when you open up conversation with people just like this, when you open up conversation with people, it gives them a chance to communicate and to make relationships stronger. So when someone tells you that an absentee ballot and a mail-in ballot are the same thing, you can say, you know what? I don't believe that's accurate. As a matter of fact, here's a link. You can watch this. Or because don't send them a link to Google. Like I said, you'll see CNN. I read the article, and CNN says they're basically the same thing. And then they kind of dance around the fact that they are absolutely not the same thing, but they never give you because you kind of leave going, what? Is it same or isn't it the same? So this was just putting it in clear terms. Hopefully. Hey, do you guys put a 4 in the chat box if you felt that was clear? At least, understanding, one, you're asking for it. It's noted that it was sent to you, and it's noted when it's received. 2, everybody gets it. Nobody knows. It's a free for all. They don't know if you got it. They don't know if you sent it back, and nobody really cares. That last part I added in, though. Nobody really cares. I added it myself. Check with your district as to where to drop off your ballot. Yeah, our church is collecting ballots because we know that there was last year on some other issues, there was a whole truckload of ballots that did not go to where they were supposed to. And so now they are a drop-off point to do that. Thank you, Melanie. One person so far thought I was clear, that I cleared something up for them. Guys, I'm super appreciative of you guys being here. I hope that you're finding value. Can I have a 5 if anybody finds value in my broadcast? If you're finding value in understanding, we got to step up, stand out, and speak. And like I said, sometimes that's speaking up for other people. Sometimes it's speaking up for topics and issues and situations that other people won't stand up for, because it's hard. It's hard to be ridiculed by other people. It's hard to take, like I said, especially when there's a lot of people that have just fall in line and they get on board with the Bitcoin. Thank you so much. He said 5. Thanks, Mel. It's hard to when other people get on board, the bully train. And they just start, oh, yeah, like stay off social media. That was one of them. If you think people are supposed to care about how you feel, stay off social media. So I could just ignore those, but I didn't. Right. And I said, well, that's one solution. But isn't a better one if we raise the bar and we actually treat each other with dignity and respect? And of course, I get ridiculed for that. But let me just tell you something. I don't care, because someone's reading it saying, yeah, I should be able to feel free to ask a question without fear of being ridiculed. And if I leave the bar laying on the ground, then that's my bad. But I'm trying to lift it. It may keep getting pushed down, but if I keep trying to lift it, one day someone will help me lift it, right? And then one day somebody else, and then somebody else. And then what will we have? We'll have a bar that's higher. That's one that's not about bullying and decisiveness. It's one about dignity and respect for all. And remembering you are enough just the way you are. You don't have to know everything about politics. You don't have to know everything about these issues. What you want to do is educate yourself so you can be informed, right? And make informed decisions. It's hard to be lied about and have other people believe the lies without checking the facts. Melanie, I know you know that. And you know that I know that, right? And so it is what it is. And it hurts. I won't tell you that it doesn't hurt my feelings. Like not them so much, because I don't know those people. I don't know any of them, and they can do what they want and whatever. But people that I know that do that hurts my feelings. Or people that I know who throw you under the bus, that's annoying, right? The other people, it's just, oh, how sad. It's super sad, because they're just, and I use the word ignorant in a nice way. They're just ignorant. They don't know. They don't know who to believe. They don't know me. So they don't know, I'm all about value and integrity, and they don't know. So they're going to have to pick based on a post and a picture of someone. And you don't know what to do. So I don't blame them. And like I said, but I'm going to keep on keeping on and keep on being me. So I hope that you guys have learned the difference between absentee ballot and mail-in voting, and that it makes a difference in conversations that you have. When people are wrong, you don't have to tell them you're wrong. I know the truth. You can just say, you know what, right? You know what? I watched a broadcast the other day that explained it pretty good. Maybe you could check it out. And this is a way you can get other people to listen without putting yourself in the front lines, because I know most people are afraid to go to the front lines. And I understand. I mean, I'm kind of a unicorn. I don't mind being there. Now, there are days when I need to Like, I don't have the strength, right? There's just days I just not have the strength. But in general, most people don't like to be in the front lines. So you can do it this way. Hey, I don't know about that. When somebody says, "Oh my gosh, this is so stupid," and Trump's an idiot, and so and so's a moron, blah, you can say, "You know what? I heard a broadcast the other day that told the difference between absentee ballots and mail-in ballots. It was pretty interesting. Let me send you the link. You let me know what you think. Does that make sense?" And then you're not in the front lines. I am. Then they can tell you, "Yeah, actually, that was pretty good," or "That girl's cray cray." Either one, it's okay. But at least they're hearing more information and they're getting a different perspective, right? Outbreak of Dunning-Kruger disease is worrying more. Okay. All right, Iron Monkeys. I'm not sure what the relevance there is. I'm sure there's some way to tie that in, but I'm not exactly. And are you saying that the topic we're talking about isn't important, that we should be talking about something else? Or I'm not sure. Help me understand that. Anyway, guys, I appreciate you. Monday through Friday, I'm on at 11:30 a.m. And Melanie, first of all, I want to give a shout out to Melanie Weiser. Melanie, my son, I was getting him his permit on Wednesday, and so I missed the broadcast. It was, I do 11:15 inside my Entrepreneurial Rockstars group and 11:30 here, and she sends me a message. "Are you okay? Because you didn't do your broadcast." And so I just want to tell you, Melanie, I appreciate that. I really do, because that means you guys are listening. You have an expectation. When I'm going on, and I really love that. And since I used to be on at 6 p.m. in the evenings, having some of you guys switch around to the mornings has been different. So, but I appreciate that because it's serving my family better and some stuff we have to get going. So again, I really appreciated that, Melanie. You are a gem. Hey, Jim, welcome. So guys, if you haven't shared it out yet, be sure to hit the share button if you found some value here today. If not, feel free to, don't worry about me. Don't come back and troll though, because then I'll have to do troll patrol. Which is actually still kind of fun. And, and I'm respectful. Wouldn't you guys agree? Those of you know me, can I have a 6 if my troll patrol is still respectful? Like I've never actually blocked anyone. I've never called anybody names. I don't think I've even done anything but smile. Have I? I don't think so. So anyway, you'll always get dignity and respect from me. If not, I could be having a bad day. It is possible because, I am human. It's possible I could have a bad day and I could be flippant. Well, flippant I can definitely be anyway. But you guys, I hope that you got some value today out of understanding the difference between absentee and mail-in ballots. I hope you also understand how to be respectful of others, even when they're being jerks to you on the internet. How we can help together we can raise the bar by refusing to drop down to that level. Thank you, Melanie. Thank you, Bitcoin. I appreciate it. And if you guys are not in my Entrepreneurial Rockstars group, please join us. Like I said, every day I'll post a link here. I am doing a broadcast every day at 11:15 a.m. Today, I actually did a training on shipping options because somebody asked me for it. But I do it on money, mindset, motivation. And so there's a whole series of videos in there. So, you can go to the freebies page on my website. And you can join the Entrepreneurial Rockstars. So we'd love to have you. I will see you guys Monday at 11:15 and 11:30, or 11:15 if you're in my group, and 11:30. And the week after that, if you guys are interested in the schools and what's happening with schools and homeschooling, the following week, I'm doing the whole week on schools, homeschooling, and some of the stuff that's been coming out. Certainly the curriculum here in California, which people tell me doesn't exist, but I have it right here. I can't show you the pictures. I'm actually going to set up a page on my website where you guys have to agree that you're getting material that is semi-pornographic. This right now is registered for 3rd graders, and they want to bring it down to kindergarten, just so you know. But if I posted it on Facebook, I know I would be banned because it's not appropriate. But they wanted to teach our kids this. Anyway, so that will be the week after next, but I will actually have the images up on my website to show you. So, but you have to sign something. You have to actually fill out you have to click a box that says, "I understand I am looking at semi-pornographic material that is part of the, school curriculum, and that I'm requesting it, but I'm not sending it or subjecting people to looking at it because I don't want to get in trouble for that." Right. But that shows how bad it is. If I can't show it to you on Facebook, how can they show it to my kid? I mean, my kids are older, but right? Can you guys? Anyway, I know some of y'all get it. I know you do, because there's sexual positions in there, people. I'm just telling you. Do 3rd graders need to see people in bed on top of each other? No, they do not. They do not need to see that. They're curious enough on their own. we don't need to start them in kindergarten or 3rd grade. We just don't, right? Not sure I hear you, Melanie. It's cartoon. I will tell you that. So you won't freak out, but you'll be like, you will be offended to know that children are seeing that. I mean, you will. But it's it's caricatures, it's cartoons. So, because that makes a difference. Anyway, I appreciate you guys. I will see you Monday at 11:15 a.m. or 11:30. And until then, I want to remind you, like I always do, to dream it, believe it, and achieve it. Ciao. See you guys later. And thanks again, Mel.